we have two of our finest speakers left to speak. And if you would join me in welcoming Reverend Wanita Lewis, Vice President of WFWP USA. Give her a round of applause as she makes the podium. Thank you.
Okay, hello. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Great. Okay, just a little bit about myself. I'm a grandmother too. I'm a great grandmother. And two daughters and a son. Two grandsons and a great grandson.
All right.
And a husband. My brother. My talk was to be on community education and human rights intervention on the SPs, on the 5 Ps of the DG4. Okay, I can say to Dr. Ida that this is the first time I've come to a UN gathering. I've been coming since 1986. That I came to a UN gathering that really felt like we were doing something.
Thank you for that.
And I just didn't hear talk. You have substantial, brilliant minds here. Young, middle age, every profession. And I just give yourself a hand. Please give yourself a hand. The thing is, the first country to embrace me when I came to the UN was Nigeria. Ambassador Uzegu and Mr. Bew of the Commerce Department. And they embraced me, and I started working with Nigerian Airways. That was a long time ago, you young people. So, to talk about community education, we have to talk about the informal and the formal. Because formal education in the schools, the hospitals, or whatever that's in the institutions in our neighborhood. But the informal is going and knocking on the doors and working with the churches and being accountable to the people in the community, getting on boards. And that I've done. I've done that. I'm 70 years old, so I've done it quite a while. My husband and I are bishops of New York State, New York City. We have 8 churches and 2 ministries. And we are in the community. Queens, Brooklyn, upstate New York, Long Island. We're in all the boroughs here in New York. And we have churches that we are working in the communities. And I am so happy to see that Africans are inviting us now to have dialogue. I have to say this because my heart has always been to go to Africa, my people. Once I got that theory in my mind and heart, I never stopped, and my aunt went to see where we were from. We were from Nigeria and Congo, the Yoruba tribe. I even named my daughter after the tribe. So the thing is, only thing that I'm thinking about now is when you come to the communities, if you're coming to the grassroots. And that was the failure of the MDG. They didn't come to the grassroots. They didn't seek out the grassroots. We had nothing to say. But this Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, you're coming. You're coming to the people, the first P, right? You're coming to the people. So if you are addressing the people, the planet, prosperity, everything else is going to be involved once you educate the people because you empower us. You empower us. I'm also a member of the ADLC, which is the African Diaspora Leadership Conference. We came together because we felt that Black America and Africa has to come together. We have to understand each other. We have to dismiss the lies about each other. We have to stop talking about each other on a level that's kind of crazy to me. Because we're so much alike. We're the same people. So our children, though, our children still got Tarzan in their mind. A lot of our children. And that troubles me a lot. But they are learning. They're going to the universities now, Atlanta University, where I went for a while, and Boston University, where I went, and here in New York at Delphi. And they are learning about the diaspora. And so my group, we have about 10 nations from Africa that's in my group. And our president is Dr. Achille Atalata from Ivory Coast. That's our president. And we are coming together. We are studying. I worked a little bit with Columbia University about the diaspora and how we want to work with the diaspora. So let's keep that in mind through our education, because in the education, when you come to the neighborhoods here in America, you have to have that understanding of who you're coming to, because our minds have been pretty kind of brainwashed, right, about our own people. So when you come to the neighborhood and you're talking to us about the SDG, I'm just hope that I can work with Dr. Ida to bring her to the communities here, because they need to hear that. They need to hear that. And they need to know what these goals are about. Because MDG, all we heard was the Millennium Development Goals, And you went to meetings and people did a lot of high talking and exclusivity. It wasn't inclusive. And we didn't understand what was going on. I used to get bored and walk out. So the thing is now, this has been the most educational, the most empowering sessions that I've ever gone to. And I thank you for the brilliancy of Dr. Ida and all the other brilliant minds in this room. So when we talk about informal and external education, we have to look at how we approach our community. They must be participants in whatever we're doing. We have to talk to them to see what their needs are before we go in telling everything that we want to do and talk about SDG, because it doesn't mean anything to them. If I'm hungry, my child hasn't been to school, I don't have anywhere to take a shower, none of that makes any difference. But if you talk to them, they become participants in that education, then you can readily unite. There's an interconnectedness that comes with understanding each other and being participants in your own faith. And I like to call it, say community education, but it's community-based education, but it's also community learning and development, right? Now, when we talk about intervention in human rights, the Declaration of 1948, right? That the UN did, the Declaration of 1948, it's moving, it's been changed a lot. But when you talk about the Declaration of Human Rights and then you put all the scholars there to learn about human rights, you need to find someone in the neighborhood who has been discriminated against, or someone who had to go in the back doors, someone who has been hurt and pained by it. And then you talk about rights and humanitarian rights. I think that in some of the human rights in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that some of that was not talked about. They didn't look at, the scholars didn't go deep enough. But right now, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in the 21st century, they're doing more studies and they're talking to more people. First people, right? They're talking to people now. So, I just want to say that, I commend them on the effort that was put forth. And the declaration is like a beacon of hope for all of us, when we talk about coming together as races and nationalities and people. But I do say that intervention, when you talk about intervention, what is the purpose of an intervention? And intervention has been said to be an orchestrated attempt to bring people for one or two people to intervene in a situation and seek personal help. Okay, I'm a social worker by profession also. And I have gone into communities in America, all around America. and in Korea, Soviet Union. I've traveled quite a bit doing social work, along with my pastoral work. So the thing is, people are people. People are people. It doesn't matter about color and race and all these different things sometimes, you know. I have to say it, Satan, I call him Satan, the devil, have given us this view of people, how to look at people. And we got to correct that in our own hearts too. The education of the heart is so important. And that's one thing my organization, the Women's Federation for World Peace, as women, and this being the era of women, we have to teach about the heart. Because until the heart is clear, and until we understand the heartistic connection with each other, we cannot grow. We cannot grow. Our spirits can't grow. Our spirits can't grow. That's what happened to our president. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. But the 5 P's, as they are so well thought out, Ban Ki-moon instrumented a lot of this, and I admire him because there is a monument right there at the UN that's set up for us that came across the transatlantic slave route. And he honored us. I went to that, to the honoring, and he said for the next 10 years or 15 years, that we were supposed to find out, we were supposed to research, and we were going to do many things to find out why it was neglected and why things happened. But it never got put on the table. It was never put on the table, but I for one, want to put it back on the table. But one brother came and he said that to help the community and help the public remember these 5 P's, he said, he coined the P's. He said, the world could easily remember the 5 P's. People partnering for peace and prosperity on the planet. That's all the P's, right? That's all the P's, right? Okay. He said that people, number 1, partners for peace and prosperity on the planet. Wow. He coined that phrase, and I mean, when I read that, I said, oh my goodness, this is great. So the thing is, we have to, in human rights, we always have to intervene when we see something being done wrong. We have to intervene if we're consciously aware of what's going on. But a lot of times, when I went into homes, there were a lot of domestic violence. I did not intervene. I called the police, right? I did not stand up to a brother or sister that was being violent. I called the police. I took the children from the home, of course. But that's a painful thing. That's a painful thing to have to take children out of a home. And even though their mothers and fathers are standing there fighting, they'll say, no, I want to stay with my mom, I want to stay with daddy. And they're both bloody and standing there, you know. That's painful. So we have to pray for our children in foster homes, our children that don't have families. And as little as it's known, a lot of our foster homes are filled with black children whose fathers were never around. And that's a stigma on Black America. I have to say it, I don't know about how much it is in Africa, but it is a stigma. It's a stigma on the black man that he's left so many of the children alone. And then who's adopting our children? Men and men adopting our children. Women and women are adopting our children. And they look beautifully running down the street, you know, with all those black boys, all those black girls. And they're totally oblivious of what's going on. They're looking at me, they're looking at their daddies, their mamas, whatever. And then they're looking at me, and it's like, okay, they don't understand. But we really got to love our children, take care of our children, and intervene when we see things going on that we can't understand. But most of all, remember, number one, people. Love people. Take care of people. And all the other five will be taken care of. Thank you.